Hey everybody, welcome back. We are headed to the car meet, and thank God it's Friday. I don't have to work for the next 3 days. I was so tired of working, busting my butt today at work. But we're gonna go ahead and start heading that way and see who shows up. It's not a cold start, but maybe. No. Oh yeah, I love how my car sounds. Oh man, it's been a long week. I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed tonight. But we're gonna have a little fun tonight and go do that car meet thing. And then probably Sunday or Monday, I am putting new electric fans in the front of the motor. So I'm gonna show y'all, not the process, but I'm gonna show y'all before and all that, because we gotta drain the radiator, pull the radiator and radiator hoses out, and then that gives me access to properly mount these fans. I'm not going with OE fans again. I'm going back with slim fans, but I'm gonna mount them properly this time instead of butting them up to the AC condenser. So we'll show you how all that works too later on. But let's get on. I ran into a few friends on the way out. A few of them meet up at the dollar store, and they follow a friend of mine that had that slammed on bag STI, or I think it's a WRX, but it's fully built, it's fast as fuck. But they're gonna follow him out there to the car meet. So I'll see y'all when we get there. Up. That's my favorite year Mustang right there. Today is Sunday. Friday night's car meet was pretty badass. But today we're going to do a little work on the car. I had if a lot of y'all have noticed, before I had 2 red fans in the place of the OE factory fans that were over there, because my OE fans went out and I needed some good electric fans for the front. And the wind's kind of crazy today. Literally is trying to blow everything away. But and I hope it don't mess with the audio. But today I'm putting new ones on, and we're gonna be a little more discreet with the fans, because I went kind of flashy the last time by putting red fans in the front, which they look good, don't get me wrong, but the red kind of faded and it started looking ugly. And I'm sure the black ones will do the same thing, but that's what we're gonna use today. But these are the ones I'm going with. These are 12-inch slim fans. Yes, I did buy them off eBay, but the company is Motoring.com. They had good reviews, and it was a decent price. I paid $50 for both of these, and we're gonna try them out, because the last ones I had, which are right there, I paid $35 for these 2. They lasted me, I think, 2-3 years. I don't know if that's a normal lifespan for an electric fan or not, but I mean, I feel like they should have lasted longer, but hopefully these new ones will. But for the process of doing this, we're going to start with draining the radiator, and then we're going to remove the radiator out, so that way we can get to the back side of this. And we're going to do something different this time too, because as you look, I have that butted up against the AC condenser, which means there's hardly any space between the blades and the condenser, which doesn't allow for very good airflow. This time, what we're going to do, I'm actually going to utilize the hardware, the springs, the little end pieces and everything, so it kind of spaces it away from the condenser, and hopefully that will cool everything down a lot easier and a lot better, and my AC will work a lot better too. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I gotta rinse this out first, and then we'll start on this. All right, everybody, we're done. Removed these covers right here and the forced air induction. I already got that down there draining into the bucket, and the bucket is rinsed out. I made sure to get all the grass and trash out of it. Always make sure you remove your radiator cap before you start draining. It'll go faster, trust me. Once that's done draining, we'll unhook these wires. This one unplugs here, and we'll just unbolt it from over here, and then we'll unbolt that one bracket there. Yes, the bracket is not bolted in here because that's stripped out on me. I've been trying to find a self-tapping bolt that I can use there, and we'll just pull the radiator out. But in the process, we also got to remove those transmission cooling lines. So once the radiator is done draining, I'll go ahead and put a actual oil bucket down there to catch that stuff. All right, everybody, we got the radiator loose. I decided to leave that there and not unhook anything because it just makes it easier. I know wiring's kind of shoddy right there, but just split it right there, left the clamp on it, unhooked that hose, unhooked the lower hoses, and that sensor on the bottom. Always remember that. I don't know if you can see it. Yep, there it goes. And then you got this hose right here. Now all you got to do is pull it out. All right, radiator's out. Wind's about to start blowing really hard, but we got the radiator over here in the grass. There goes the wind. All of a sudden, really strong gust of wind. I hate that. We got the horns out, so y'all can see that. That gives you more room to do what you need to do. I've already cut this thing loose here, so that can come out easy. So we got that out, and I will show y'all how to do this in a minute, because we got to wire these back up. But yeah, I got them wired into the factory harness. It is possible. So if you do this job, make sure you leave quite a bit of wire on the original plug, so that way you can wire it into your new electric fans, and they'll work just like the ones that originally came in the car, because you'll have them wired into the factory harness. So, and another little trick, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one, and I'll get right back with you. Now, another thing you want to do as a preventative maintenance, I know some of y'all are like, man, I'm having cooling issues. Have you ever removed the radiator and see how dirty it was back there? As you can see, those have been on a while, so I got to clean a little bit of that off as best I can. I don't want to get the ground wet because I'm working on it. But in between here, between the condenser and the radiator, as you can see, my condenser, it's pretty clean. Because I pulled my radiator out recently doing a timing belt on this car. But that back there in between the radiator and the condenser likes to build up with grass, dirt, you know, it just builds up with grime and road stuff, and it will literally hinder your cooling ability on the car. So what we're gonna do now is I got one more plug down here. I got kind of zip tied up where it looks decent down there because I only had one fan because my other one went out. I didn't want to take a chance of the other one getting too hot, and because it's probably locked up. It wasn't locked up, but it just quit working. I didn't want to take a chance of it catching fire. So what we did is just removed it. I cut as much wire as I could and just zip tied it to where it's out of the way and not dangling and it doesn't get damaged. So I got to get that plug off down there, and then we're going to go over here and we're going to take the plug off of that one and we're going to wire them in to the new ones. So, and once we get those wired up, then we'll worry about mounting them, and I'll show you all the process of mounting them. If you are wondering, yes, I'm using heat shrink butt connectors. That way it seals the connection in here from weather and grime and rust and all that good stuff. I do have another style, but I like them, but I don't like them. This is the kit I got. One of these here, I'm going to show you. They're great, but they don't always work the greatest unless you do it right. It has a piece of lead in the center, and when you heat it up, these ends here will seal it from the weather. That solders the wires together. But these work great. I'm not going to complain. I might do the other one with the others just so you can see what it looks like. But I always have problems. The outer sheeting is real thin, and when it gets hot, it breaks easy, even with the lead, and it starts leaking out. So that's why I like using these. So, but let me finish wiring this up. And yes, I did test it with a multimeter to make sure I knew which wire went where, just to verify, so I didn't mess it up. So let me get this done, and we'll move on to mounting this one. All right, everybody. Look right here, if I can get it to focus. That's that butt connector I was talking about. I said I'll try to use it on this side. But you can see the solder's melted in there. It connects the wires. They're pretty solid. I'm tugging on it pretty good. I'm pulling the box and everything. These two ends seal it. That melts, keeps the solder in the center, and prevents it from getting any weather on it, so it doesn't corrode or anything like that. Usually that's pretty good connection. So we'll go with it. All right, everybody. Both fans are in. All we got left now is to cut the zip ties on the back side that holds these in, and then get this wiring looking nice and neat in here. We should be good to go. I did have to remove this piece here to give me a little more access to make sure I got these side clips like that secure. And one of the problems with buying eBay stuff, I know, is I had to put zip ties right there. And you can see, because these things were loose. They were supposed to be super tight when you put them in, but they were loose, and I could pop them in and out, and they weren't going to be secure. But they're secure now. But I just stuck a zip tie in there and kind of forced it in, and that made it the way it's supposed to work. And you can see I got one facing with the sticker going this way, with the wire going in. Both wires going into the center. They're straight up and down. They look good. Even down there, we're doing great. So let me clean this up with the wire zips. We're going to take zip ties and we're going to secure a lot of these wires where they're supposed to be and make it look a lot neater. So I'll show you all the after when I'm done. Bam, it's all done. Fans are on, everything looks good. Wind's roaring through, horns are on. We're good to go. All that's left now is the radiator. Well, everybody, we are all back together. Got the wires all cleaned up in there. They're not dangling everywhere. They look nice and neat. Horns are back in. The covers are back on. I saw someone on the forums the other day, or earlier this morning, talking about how you properly bleed the cooling system. if you get this far in the video and that person actually watches, this will actually kind of help you. What I do, and all I do is pull the radiator out, but I still do it. I pull this bolt off that's on the thermostat housing, and I fill it up to the top. Now sometimes you'll fill this up and your reservoir will start filling up too, so keep an eye on that. But once you get this close to full, cap it off and then crank your engine, remove your cap. Now I have a funnel that you buy at Walmart. It's over there. That's for cooking in that. I use one of those because they fit. It's a big one and it fits nice and snug inside the center hole, and it doesn't allow coolant to get in here. So basically you just kind of and it locks in place, and you can actually fill that funnel up to where it's about half full, and it'll slowly start burping the air out of the system, and you'll watch it go down. Once it gets to the point where it's not taking anymore, it'll be good. Mine's a little bit low. I need to add a little bit more, but mine always usually runs about there. I could put it to the full mark and it'll still suck it down to there. I don't know why. There ain't no leak anywhere, and it has a brand new water pump. So, but that's how I do it when it comes to bleeding the coolant system, and I hope that helps you out. But my car is all back together. We're gonna take it down the road. I let it idle for a while and get up to running temperature, and it's actually running cooler with these newer fans and the way I have them mounted. So I hope that helped y'all. And give me one step. It helped y'all. It's nice being able to put new fans on this thing because my old ones wore out. They've been on, these are cheaper eBay fans, and they do the job. They're hit and miss sometimes when you get a good one or a bad one, but luckily I've gotten some good ones, and these newer ones actually made the car run a little cooler. So it usually runs at idle in the summertime about 100 degrees Celsius, and with these newer fans it was at 90 degrees Celsius, and I was only running one fan because with everything hooked up, the one fan runs until you turn the AC on, and then both fans kick on. At least that's how it's supposed to work, or vice versa, or something of that nature. I can't remember. Or if you turn the AC off, both fans turn off. I don't know. The fans on this thing, the way they run, hadn't ran right since I first got this car, and I think it's something to do with the harness, but I got them wired up and they work right for me, so keeps the car cooled off, and the AC works great. So, but if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. A lot of y'all watch my channel, but you don't subscribe. Please subscribe because it helps me out, and I will catch y'all next time. I'll have a good rest of your weekend.